1933, Detroit. A mother walks into a shuttered grocery store and finds nothing but dust. Her children haven't eaten in 2 days. 2025, the shelves empty again. Different crisis, same fear. But there's a secret our grandparents knew. 7 foods that laugh at time itself. Foods so indestructible, so economical, that they carried families through the darkest decade in history. And they cost almost nothing. You don't need a bunker. You don't need freeze-dried meals at $40 a bag. You need what they had, the Immortal pantry. And I'm going to show you exactly what belongs in yours. Number 1. Honey. In 1934, a beekeeper in rural Iowa kept his family alive on nothing but honey. When neighbors came begging, he'd trade a single jar for labor, for firewood, for hope. Honey was currency. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs. Still edible, still perfect. Why? The science is brutal in its simplicity. Honey is nearly 80% sugar, with almost no water. Bacteria can't survive. Add natural hydrogen peroxide and a pH that burns like acid? Nothing grows, nothing rots, nothing dies. Today, a pound of honey costs $7 and provides 1,400 calories of pure energy. Compare that to processed snacks at 3 times the cost and half the nutrition. Your great-grandmother understood value. Do you? Number 2. White rice. At the Bowery Mission in Manhattan, 1932, they served rice to 800 people a night. The rice never spoiled. The rice never failed. Week after week, the same 50-pound sack sat in the basement, feeding the desperate. White rice is immortal because we stripped it naked. The bran, the germ, all the parts that contain oils and nutrients that can spoil, remove. What's left? Pure starch, bone dry, indestructible. Stored properly, cool, dry, sealed. White rice lasts 30 years. Longer? Brown rice? 6 months before the oils go rancid. This is why Depression families chose survival over nutrition. A 20-pound bag today costs $15. That's 160 servings, 9 cents per serving. Show me another food that costs 9 cents and feeds you for a month. But item number 3 is where it gets controversial. Number 3. Dried beans. Oklahoma, 1936. The dust storms destroyed everything. Wheat, corn, but beans. Hope. Beans survived. They grew in hell, and when stored, they lasted years. A farmer near Tulsa told his grandson, "A man with beans will never starve, and his enemies will never eat well." Here's the controversy. Beans are poor people food. Always have been. And in 2025, we've been taught to despise them, to crave expensive proteins. Beans are beneath us. Except beans contain more protein per dollar than almost anything else you can buy. 20 grams of protein per cup, 8 grams of fiber, iron, folate, and they cost nothing. Dried beans last up to 10 years in a cool pantry. 30 years if you vacuum seal them. Compare that to fresh meat at $8 a pound that rots in 4 days. Your pride is expensive, beans are not. Number 4. Salt. Before refrigeration defined civilization, there was salt. In the Depression, a farmer with salt could preserve a slaughtered pig for months. Without it, the meat rotted in 2 days, and his family went hungry while flies feasted. Salt is so essential to human survival that Roman soldiers were paid in it. The word salary comes from salt. It's not food. It's beyond food. It's life itself. Sodium chloride, 2 elements, completely stable. Salt doesn't expire because it was never alive. It's mineral. It's rock. Time doesn't touch it. Buy it in bulk. 10 pounds for $6. Use it for cooking, preserving, curing. And when the power goes out and your freezer becomes a tomb for spoiled meat, you'll understand why salt was once worth more than gold. Number 5. White vinegar. Michigan, 1933. A housewife pickles 200 cucumbers in August because she knows winter is coming. The vinegar costs pennies. The jars last all year. She feeds 6 children through February on pickles, canned tomatoes, and faith. Vinegar is acetic acid and water. That's it. The acid creates an environment so hostile that bacteria, mold, and decay simply cannot exist. It's chemical warfare in a bottle, and it never stops fighting. The FDA doesn't require an expiration date on vinegar because it doesn't have one. The bottle you buy today will outlive you. Properly sealed, it will outlive your grandchildren. And beyond food, vinegar cleans, disinfects, preserves, and costs $2 a gallon. In a world where everything breaks, vinegar endures. Item 6 is the most primitive, and possibly the most powerful. Number 6. Pemmican and dried jerky. Long before the Depression, indigenous peoples of the Great Plains created pemmican. Dried meat pounded with fat and berries. Arctic explorers carried it. A single pound could sustain a man for days of hard labor. By 1933, rural families were making jerky again out of desperation. A deer killed in November became 40 pounds of dried meat that lasted until spring. No refrigeration, no canning equipment, just salt, smoke, the science is simple. Remove the water, add salt. Bacteria need moisture. Without it, the meat doesn't rot, it mummifies. Store-bought jerky is expensive. Make it yourself? A pound of beef becomes 4 ounces of jerky at a quarter of the cost. And it lasts for months. Vacuum sealed? Years. It's survival food. It always has been. Number 7. Hardtack. It fed soldiers in the Civil War. It fed sailors for centuries before that. And during the Depression, when flour was all you had, you made hardtack. Flour, water, salt, no fat, no yeast, no mercy. You bake it until every drop of moisture is gone. What remains is so hard it can break your teeth. Soldiers called them sheet iron crackers and soaked them in coffee just to make them chewable. But here's what matters. Properly stored, hardtack lasts 50 years. 100. There are Civil War-era pieces in museums that are still technically edible. It's not food. It's a monument to human stubbornness. Modern survival companies charge you $40 for freeze-dried meals. Hardtack costs you 50 cents a pound to make yourself and lasts twice as long. The difference? Marketing. Your great-grandparents didn't have choices. They had flour and will. They survived. 7 foods, 7 pillars of independence. The economy is fragile. Supply chains are fragile. Your paycheck, your grocery store, your sense of security, all of it can vanish. We watched it happen in 2020. We're watching inflation devour wages in 2025. But these 7 foods, they don't care about recessions. They simply exist, waiting, immortal. Start with $5. 1 bag of rice, 1 bag of beans. Next week, add salt and vinegar. The week after, honey. Build your pantry 1 immortal brick at a time. Your great-grandparents didn't survive because they were lucky. They survived because they were prepared, resourceful, and refused to let hunger make them weak. You carry their blood, their strength, and now you have their knowledge. Build your forever pantry. Not out of fear, but out of respect for those who came before you. This is the Frugal Historian. The past is never past. And neither is hunger.